like a appointment where we ask somebody questions, or is this going to be just whoever has the floor, whoever is loudest in the mic can just talk and talk and talk, and then whenever they're finished, someone else jumps in?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we don't have to run it any special style, if you get what I'm saying. All this really is just an open discussion about, a world that I fucking love, like, insanely. I don't know why. And yeah, if the questions you guys have, and discussion about going from there, diving into the world, explaining a couple of the things, that make this story interesting, at least from my perspective. Going from there, diving into the world, explaining.
Just so I know the game plan. I don't want to step on anybody's toes or try to talk over anybody or
like I said,
try to.
At least from my perspective.
Huh?
Like I said, well, all right. Well, I'm gonna open up, and if you guys are gonna watch, I'm gonna open up with like the actual trailer of the Wheel of Time. That way, if anybody hasn't seen it that's on the stream, we can, like I said, watch it. You guys have any questions, obviously, from it? I can, start answering that shit quickly, and then going deeper into certain things. That way, if anybody hasn't seen it that's on the stream.
So it sounds like you're going to be taking the lead on this one, Sonny.
I do. I am taking the lead on this one.
Person for the topic, I would feel like it's fair for him to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, at that point, you could probably just start nerding out about it to us, and then we'll just react and ask questions and respond, and that'll be it.
Well, yeah.
Every time you can start nerding
like an hour and like 10, if anything. No, yeah, like when I normally stream, I go for like 3 hours, but obviously that's a video game. This is
for games. You can
like an hour.
You can even consider this like a discussion.
Well, yeah, we can like even next time, like we start discussing this. There's gonna be another trailer release in a couple weeks, and I can tie this in with New World because it's kind of the same shit.
Oh, we got people watching.
I do. New World is amazing. I'm like ready to get off of this and go do that soon. And I can tie this in with New World.
No, we got 2 likes on the stream already.
Oh,
we got people watching.
I do. New World for the likes. Amazing. Is that off of YouTube? Get off of this and go do that.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm looking at the stream right now. So I'm just gonna share the stream on Facebook and with my group.
Go for it. If you guys want to quickly share it, go for it. I have it tied to Twitter on our Twitter handle because it's under my @ but it's the Bounty Bros Gaming. I have it. Go for it. If you guys want to quickly
share it, updated models, man.
I have it tied. I know. Yeah, we do. On our Twitter handle because
like
it's under my @ but it's the Bounty Bros Gaming.
These need to be updated.
Hey man, I made those years ago.
I know.
I see it, and I'm not knocking it. Just it's time for an update. We don't look like this anymore.
We don't look like this anymore.
We don't look like this anymore.
That is high
it's time
school.
for an update. Yeah, we don't look like this anymore.
We don't look like this anymore.
Like old, dude, I haven't updated the designs of those characters since the fucking like drawing I made, or I got made for 2019.
Are you trying to agree with me, or trying to
I was making plans to change where I got made for.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, not that I would know. You got a lot of things you don't tell me about. You got a lot of stuff going on.
It was it never really comes full circle with like most of my designs and stuff like that. So I always kind of get stuck with, this is just kind of cool that we're making this move.
Oh, well, thank you for joining, Ryan. I appreciate it. Even if you got some laggy service right now.
Always kind of get stuck with, this is just kind of.
Well,
thank you for joining, Ryan. I appreciate it.
I want to loop my sound.
Oh yeah, no.
Just make sure you mute the audio for the stream if you're gonna like watch it on your stream.
I want to loop my sound.
Yeah, no. It's
Just make,
not.
just make sure you mute
It's
the
not
audio
clipping. Is
for
what I'm
the
trying to
stream.
get. I was trying to make sure that we could
Watch
also
it on.
hear everybody, and I can hear everybody perfectly.
I think you can hear everybody because, like I said, I was making sure the audio before was a lot better
I was trying to make sure that we could also
than what it could have been.
I can hear everybody. Yeah.
I think you can hear it because, like, that's why we also found out Tristan's whole issue with the mics and everything.
I was trying to make sure that we could also
Than what it could have been.
He's changed.
Because, like, that's why we also found out Tristan's whole issue with the mics. On what?
No, I can see your chin.
Well, yeah. My camera's like right there.
So are we gonna be just watching the trailer, or are we gonna play some Witcher, or some what, man? Because I don't have anything that would be related to Renaissance fantasy.
Well, I mean, I can end up playing New World, but like I said, like I'm gonna open up with the trailer and everything.
Watching the trailer, or are we gonna play some Witcher, or
now we have 6 viewers.
I don't have anything that would be related to
about the Wheel of Time. Well,
I
mean, I can end up playing New World, but like I said, since we actually have a couple viewers now, we can probably start discussing this shit. Now we have 6 viewers. Well, yeah. Welcome, and this is the Bounty Bros Gaming live podcast for the first time. I got here my other 2 cohorts with me, if they'd like to introduce themselves. Well, yeah. Welcome, and this is the Bounty Bros Gaming live. The first one was Jacob, and the second one is Tristan. Apparently they forgot their names with me, if they'd like to introduce themselves.
I didn't forget. I just like to make an entrance.
Okay. Okay, second one is Tristan. Apparently they forgot their names. But yeah, since you joined us, let's watch this. If you guys haven't seen the Wheel of Time trailer yet, one of my favorite high fantasy novels out there. But yeah.
Be strong. The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories. The power inside you. All over the world, there are different names for it. But it's one thing. One power. And women who can touch it. We protect the world.
No matter what happens, when pain we face, when heartbreak, the wheel keeps turning. The Dark One is coming for your friends.
The last battle is coming. The only thing that matters is what you do. Whatever happens now, there's no turning back.
Technical difficulties.
A little. I might have to restart it and start back up again. God damn it.
Difficulties.
A little. That's pretty fucked up. I might have to restart it and start back up again. Well, now it's working.
Is it? What happened?
God damn it.
Right?
Like, the desktop audio is working. That's pretty fucked up.
Oh, as soon as Tristan said,
well, now what about now? See, what the fuck?
Is it? What happened? It's working now. Yeah.
Like,
so what did you click? What did you click on?
Desktop audio is working. I changed the face cam mic because that was on the camera. I don't think I needed that. See, what the fuck? My mic is like right here in front of my face.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you click?
Like my main mic is right here. Like what the fuck? I changed the face cam mic because. Anyways, yeah. So sorry for the technical difficulty real there for a quick second, but everything is like coalescing within the Wheel of Time. Because it's mentioned a lot. This is they mentioned that this is the fourth cycle of the Wheel of Time. This is the fourth time that this, history of people and world has, been existing. Because anytime they bring up anything that happened in centuries past, it's the Third Age, the Age of Legend, the Age of Heroes, the Age of Invention, and shit like that. So everything is just coalescing, in one whole big circle, basically. Everything just runs as it's supposed to run. The Age of Invention.
Will the number 4 have significance in the story? Because you keep saying the fourth age, right?
Well, no, it doesn't have any significance besides looking at it at like a calendar. Like, this is the 4th century. Yeah. No, it has nothing to do with anything. It's more just like this is the 4th century of this life cycle. Besides looking at it at like a calendar.
Okay.
Like, this is the 4th century. Yes. I did want to touch on something that wasn't ever mentioned in any of the trailer, and it's not something that will be brought up unless you're really looking for what you want to, what info you want to get out of the series, and it's the people that you saw wielding the magic. You're really looking for
that's for sure something that I'm definitely gonna like. I was really hoping that this is kind of like
you want to get out of the series, and it's
a story like centered around like this girl and her magic clan, and then we just see her interacting with other people.
No.
If it's gonna be more than that, that's great.
This is
at the same time. I want that magic girl story.
Look, the 3 men that you see. The 2 young females that you saw, the old woman that you saw take off her hat, the samurai-looking dude with a band across his forehead, all their stories intertwine every single point of climax throughout this story. The woman that you saw take off her hat, like everybody will be connecting with everybody because something is leading them to get here because of this. Like, so we're gonna see magic girl stuff. We're gonna see. Like everybody will be without giving spoilers, but it is a little bit of spoilers. Male users of magic eventually.
Which that to me is already like yes, because.
But there's a cat. See, there's a catch. There's a catch. So
there's not just one guy with really magic. Like no, there's multiple people.
So see that's why I bring up the magic portion of what we saw. The weaving air flows that look like just powdery weaving stuff in the sky, as you saw. That's basically what we see as the female wielders are. I may be chopping this. I know. I'm like I don't know why I'm echoing. Sky, as you saw. That's basically what we see. I don't know why that makes no sense.
Okay, so like in this world, women are like the primary casters, and like to be a male caster is like what? Just unheard of or not common? Not common.
Well, no, it's not that it's not common. is that okay? So, to explain magic and why males can't wield the magic is because about 100 years prior to where this story, where we see these individuals take place, there was a great battle with the Dark One. The Dark One is the evil, all evil, Dormammu, Satan, Mephisto, all that. That is what the Dark One is.
So I bought that dude in the hoodie. That was a henchman of his, or was that the dude?
That's one of his many lieutenants.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
No, sorry. Like, that's like a sub-henchman, but yes, he's one of theirs.
Unpaid intern? Shit.
Basically, yes. A mutated, experimented on unpaid intern.
Jeez. You get to fight all these people?
Well, I'll trust me. I'll get back to explaining them as well, because they're not the greatest fucking thing ever in this history. But going back to male users, 100 years prior, there was a great battle, like I said. The Dragon Reborn, or the Dragon as he was called, he basically sealed the Dark One and like his 13 lieutenants, which were called the Forsaken, in the Boar, in like the place where they were going to try and release him and, bring darkness and evil to the world. Well, what the Dark One did that no one knew was that he tainted the male half of the One Power, of the ability to use magic, per se.
He tainted the ability to use magic?
He tainted the ability of male users using magic. So, what that means is that after a couple of years, you as a male go crazy and start killing everybody.
Damn.
Because you don't know what you're doing. You literally have gone, like, insane.
That sucks.
Yes.
So, if you were a male caster, that would just happen to you too, and then you just wreck shit everywhere?
Yes.
Oh.
And so,
I gotta go.
but that brings us to the female users. See, the thing is, when it comes to the One Power, male and female users are meant to be in harmony, because you can do so much more with the One Power when both halves are together, because it's like yin and yang. There's a lot of Chinese like culture influences throughout this story with that same kind of yin and yang balance, and 100 years or so without male users, there's only been prominent female users. It's only a world of where women can wield this ability. So that's why in the trailer you see mostly females in those vast colors, and in blue and red and white and yellow and green and stuff like that. They are the sect of female users in this current world.
Okay, I need you to spoil something real quick for me.
Yes.
And that might come off as, prejudice, but I don't mean it to be. Please tell me that the male user that gets revealed to wield magic, it's not the red-haired dude.
Are you making a ginger reference?
See,
I mean,
look.
I'm just saying it'd be way too easy for them to just be like, oh, the one male user of magic in 100 years is a redhead. And I'm like,
it's probably your Wi-Fi or your 5G Ryo. It's not strong enough right now to broadcast a stream, which I still appreciate you joining anyways. Thank you. But
I mean, I would love it to be that way. I'm just saying, I think it would be a little bit too easy. A little bit too easy to spot, especially if they're gonna make it a video, like who could the male one be? I'm just gonna automatically pick the ginger.
Yeah, and see, look,
he should be the one who helps save the world.
The crazy thing, and not to get, PC and all that jazz right now, because I don't try to do that usually on my streams. In the book, he is represented as a light-skinned or a fairer-skinned individual because of his background. And I'm not getting into his background because that is huge spoiler territory. Like
territory.
that is a no. But because of his background in the book, he is supposed to be of a more darker caramel complexion.
Okay. So
But
he's Kea from Genshin Impact.
yes.
It's funny.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Yes, but and that's and like diving back into the magic with the females, you also have to realize this sect of females is very vast, because also within the sect there is like a set of divisions. You know, they go by colors. They go by the red, the blue, the green, the brown, the white, the gray. I believe, right? I got to check my notes real quick.
Is this based on like the magic that they can use, or
No, this is
more like a factor of
this.
Like, oh, this is our faction.
They're more based on factions and the beliefs of the factions. Okay. So, and since you brought male users, and in this current age, we know that male users will get hunted and gentled. Gentle basically means that they will be losing the connection from the male half of the one power. Okay. The Red Sisters do that job. They focus on only hunting down males and, you know, severing them from the connection. It's their job. It's always been their job because of what's happened, you know, prior to this age. Then the other sects, you know, all have different beliefs. Like the blues believe in more like, what's it called? They believe more in like justice and like a larger view of the world. Like it's not about us, it's about all of us. You know, this doesn't just affect you, this affects everything. The yellows are more about healing and, you know, being the healers of the communities. The grays are more diplomats. They more look into politics and deal with that. Browns are more of preservationists. They look at, you know, the study of plants, the study of things, of keeping and preserving. A huge part of them love preserving history. And then there's the white, which focus more on like philosophy and logic. And each one of them all, you know, have their political system within their own city and everything. And I really, really dislike that a lot of different people have, oh, well, thank you for joining, Kara. I appreciate it. A lot of different journalists are labeling this series as a maternal riddled or, you know, a matriarch riddled world or a matriarch led world. Like, it's, yes, there is a purpose of the female, you know, being so vast in this world, but there's a hindrance to it. There's an issue to it all. Like, there's something that's missing in that vast history that we will see moving forward. Like, and I know it's just clickbait, and this is me ranting about it, but it shouldn't be your one focus to get attention to this series. The series has so much more to offer than just, you know, that little clickbait.
Well, it's the grab though, right? Like, they need something to get in. Yeah, it's gotta be the clickbait. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna be invested in the story for like what happens like in like book 4. I want to be hooked now.
And honestly, like, just looking from the trailer, they are really doing the big important events from the first book itself. Which, they already have recasted one of the main 7 characters. Yes. Okay. So who we see as Matt Calhoun in the show when it comes in November, he won't be the same person in season 2, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, didn't make the cut.
Well, I don't know what happened. They haven't talked about it. No, dude, this whole entire production has been like under wraps for 5 years. So us first hearing about this and like hearing who Moiraine is, like, was the most information we ever got in the beginning.
I'd say it's going to be either medical pay or scheduling.
I always think it's scheduling. It's always scheduling.
It's a safe choice. That's what I hope it is.
But yeah, he had to get recast, so yes. We will be seeing a different person moving forward in this series. But Jacob, what questions did you have? Any info that you'd like to know?
Well, I kind of get intricate with the whole magic thing, right? Magic as it stands is
well, we can discuss that huge,
like, what fantasy series usually delve in very poorly, and so I was kind of curious how in depth magic goes in this series.
So,
like, do they have an explanation of like, okay, there is mana and mana's manipulated through this way, or is it the life force concept?
Listen, it is more of a life force concept because not everyone has, and they'll call it the spark, to actually be able to wield the one power. There's many females that will feel, or, you know, other Aes Sedai that will feel, and for the stream and for you guys, that's what they are called. And I'm pretty sure I'm chopping it, but it is Aes Sedai, Aessedai. But they can sense other, you know, young girls and young women that may or may not have the spark. But if that spark isn't strong enough, they won't be able to wield much.
Okay.
Because the more it gets into explaining the one power, you realize that there's like 5 elements to the one power. There's air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. Each one, when you're weaving it, when you're doing different things with it, will create different spells and different things that you need it to do.
So it's, in a way, it's kind of like bending.
Yes.
Does that mean that the magic will work like a muscle, and then you can train it with time, or do you have to just like read up on spells?
Well, see, now that's touching spoiler territory. If you want me to, without really spoiling much.
No, we did state that it was a spoiler for podcast.
Yes, it is. But like I said,
we will have to wait and see on the show.
Like I said, I can spoil it, but it won't explain much. But I can tell you a yes or no answer to that.
Okay.
Yes, it's like a muscle. That's all I'm saying. Because when we do dive more into this, you realize there's a lot more learning from certain individuals that help us understand the power more and more. Because as we have within the sect of, you know, the Aes Sedai, there are people that keep history. But history literally got destroyed in those 100 years of war and like famine and just darkness all across the land. So what we used to know of the one power is maybe like 25% at the start of the story.
Damn.
Like, we know we can do the stuff, but even still, if you do too much, if you do the wrong thing, you can cut yourself off from the power. And
you can run out of magic.
No, you can get cut off to the point where you can't even feel the magic anymore.
Ooh.
Like you can try and, you know, sense it, but there's something blocking you from trying to touch it, trying to grasp it.
So there's consequences.
Yes, and that's the thing that I love about magic in this series. There is consequences. You can't just be wielding, you know, left and right and expecting nothing to happen. If you can't wield that power correctly, it'll either backfire or it won't have any kind of effect.
Go
ahead, bring it up.
I'm just saying, like, it's not big, like, bending a hot second ago. It's like, that's, I don't, like, love bending, but, like, there's no real downside to bending.
Well, the thing I brought up bending is because the whole wave motion and the way that they're portraying the casting was similar to bending, but the way it works might not be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there might be the muscle, like, the more you do it, the more you potentially get better at doing a spell, But then there's also probably like the properties of like, well, if you do a spell too
Exactly.
long, you probably get like a fatigue to the point where you can't do the spell anymore.
Ooh, which little fun fact. The weaving, the white like air that you see flowing in the trailer, in the book, it's described the same way. Like when a certain individual learns that they have, the ability, they can, if they're trained properly and go through the courses in the White Tower in the city of the Aes Sedai, they basically eventually can see that as what the weaver is doing. They can see the motions and the airflow and the elements being flown into what they're going to use. And abilities like that really don't exist much in this world because of lost history.
Did you have another question, Jake? Because I actually wanted to bring up the world.
Well, there was another question about what I was going to bring up, which was actually, so in retrospect, there's all these like factions, and to the point where like you can hope to see hopefully every single faction being described through their culture. How much of, I guess without going into spoiler territory, how much of that world is like explored?
A lot. Like in the story, and this is Robert Jordan's like writing, he explains everything with such vast detail. He doesn't leave one single thing out, and without spoiling it, there is other life out there in this vast world of the Wheel of Time. It's not just, these little villages. Yeah, it's not these little villages. It's not just the Aes Sedai. It's not just, like the people in the north. It's not just Warders. It's not just any other part of that actual civilized world. There is actual other life on the other side that, we do get to explore in I believe in like book 7 or 8, that's when we dive very deeply into that world because we have no choice. We need to find out what we can do to fix what's going on, because at this point, shit's hitting left and right. Like after book 5, the story just starts really just going out of like the garage bat out of hell kind of motion, because things are just happening here, there, everywhere. Just bing, bang, boom, everything going everywhere.
And
what to deal with.
And
I'm invested, man. Shit.
It's just how he was. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. These people we see do split up, but one of their adventures, something shit happens, some other thing happens, and it's a fucking snowball effect.
But they split. They potentially come back. They split and come back. Are they Final Fantasying it in a sense?
In a sense, yes.
Damn. All right. Damn. Not invested. They should make a game of this. It was great.
There is, funny you should say that, there is a tabletop game of this.
Oh, okay, tabletop. That's a lot more easier to play because you can't fuck it up as a tabletop.
But like,
if you kind of fuck up the magic system, then...
if you do want to look at it, like if there's a game out there like that, New World, and I'm not promoting Amazon. Hell no way, I am promoting Amazon. Is kind of like that.
Sponsor us, Amazon.
Well, look, I'm starting off. I'm not affiliate. Whatever. I'm not trying to get big stuff like that yet. But
hey, look, we're not against it.
I know we're not against
Amazon.
it. Though, if you're listening. But New World is a little close to that. Magic, yeah, it's like everywhere in that game. That's just how that game is. But it's more of the walking, the crafting, having to harvest this and that, and this world does the same thing, because we do get certain points in the story where it's nobody that uses magic. It's two individuals that are just like average Joe. that don't have any powers, that don't have anything but like a axe and, you know, a sword or a dagger.
So what are the other classes in this then, besides mage?
It would be more like, I guess, like a warrior, because one of the people we were introduced in the trailer, his background is of a civilization of, you know, very fine and like prominent warriors that have fought for years, that know the art of war. And it's just, you know, it's them, it's that, and then there's Trollocs. Then there's the evil side of it all.
Oh man, I just got a question that might go down. This is probably spoiler territory, but I
ask
for the
and you
sake
shall
of
see.
this podcast, are there beast tribes?
No.
Damn it.
Well, okay. Okay, so since we're diving into that, remember when I said that there is like sub-lieutenants with, you know, the dark hooded figure that we saw?
Yeah.
They basically, I don't know if I wrote it, and I believe I did. They are called... No, I did not write it down. Good. So you guys can find that out. But they basically are mutated humans with the darkness that can control these experimented beast humanoids that we see eventually in the probably first or second episode of the series. And they have their own grunto language that they all talk in. And we, as like the viewer and the main characters, don't understand it, and nobody can understand it. Only the one that like created them can speak it.
Damn, alright.
So in a way, yes, there is a beast tribe,
but it's not like
it's not. Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Clans of different type of like animal like races.
Exactly.
Or monster like races.
There is a little bit of special surprise that you'll see eventually in that realm, and I think you'll like it, but that's all I'm gonna say. And if I swear to God, if you start looking for it, I'm gonna be pissed.
No. I have to, for the sake of this series, I have to go spoil free. I will just say though, man.
Shut up.
As a regular weeb, like, I'm down to earth to this already. But if they introduce like dragon girls or cat girls, like the series is like, I need to get the books.
There is no dragon girls, there is no cat girls, there is no transfiguration. None of that. It's more of a finite magic realm with consequences. It doesn't strive into like the weird or, you know, the here I want to do a cat girl kind of like thing.
She's not a cat girl, she's a lioness.
Either way. Either
there's
way.
A difference between the two though, like this is outside of wheel time, but like if you give yourself a topic of like, yeah, she's a cat girl, okay. Yeah, she's a lioness, okay. Does she eat people? If the answer is yes, you don't fucks with her.
Oh my god. I swear. Y'all are something else sometimes.
I'm feeling as possible.
But any other questions?
Yeah. We have until November until this series kind of gets released. So that is Pokemon re-release time. So what is something that you feel like as this series is coming out during all these competing? It's got a competing agenda right now. There's other series that are coming out at this time.
There is nothing.
More of a business sense.
There is nothing for me personally that is above this right now.
Yeah.
Like
we got. Because let me run through what's coming during November. We got the release of the expansion of Final Fantasy XIV, which is Endwalkers.
I know. Trust me. I know.
We got the remake of Gen 4, which, you know, some people will probably not get into it until Arceus in January of next year. We have potentially, you know, other games that usually are released within this day period, and then we got the December timeline of games.
Well, look,
this looks like one of the more appealing, you know, touch of media that I will probably be watching around this time.
Look, you have to, because like I told y'all, I want to discuss this. I want to bring this, you know, world more to, you know, bring more attention to this world, because it is a phenomenal story. Like, we had Game of Thrones, and that shit bombed after season 5. I'm sorry. Y'all can come at me. Whoever watches this, whoever loves Game of Thrones, you can come at me. But for me, that shit ended at season 5, because I don't know what the fuck happened to Jon Snow technically still.
Yeah.
Anything else after that is a fanfic.
Yeah. Looping back here. So if you watched Game of Thrones, I'm not going to go too in-depth of the story, because there's apparently people who still haven't watched Game of Thrones. Just take it at face value. The series was really well written, and there's a lot of people who kind of fell in love with the series without knowing the books. And so
I was one of them.
Came to a point, at a standpoint where the series took a turn in the wrong direction.
Yes, sir.
And you, as a person who never read the books and just watched the show, I had to read the books and then realized, wait a minute, there's so much left out. I understand it's a series that needs to omit certain things. You're just going to squeeze the episodes. I understand that. But there's a way to do that without start making your own fan fictions.
And like one of our viewers said, you know, milking the show for the fans. That's what they did. And like you said, and yeah, we might be diverging, but we're in the same topic of like high fantasy series, you know, being turned into shows. You know, Game of Thrones got me because of the show. I never heard of the books before. I didn't know this was a series before, but that first season got me hooked. And when I found out it was a book series, you bet your ass I was reading them. Like, I was reading them all in college, trying to fucking speed read through that shit to, you know, get to the next book, to get the next bit of information. And when we got to that point of where we only had set information, the show just sucked.
Question.
Yes.
Do you know if this is being spearheaded or directed by fans of the show?
So,
now, are they fans of this show? Because that will make or break how well this does.
So they have already, and the producers and directors have all came out and already stated that the entirety of what we have, so all the story, all the information, all the characters, all 15 books, is being used as the basis for this show. So they are making sure every little detail, every nook and cranny, everything that is the Wheel of Time is being put into this show. They said they didn't want to make something that the fans are going to hate. So that they wanted to make sure they use every single bit of source material at hand.
I want to see if this is going to go like how the books go, or are they going to take liberties here and there?
That's another good thing you brought up. They are taking liberties. Only in the sense of writing story for TV. Because, and it's so great that you brought this up, because I did have this as another topic if it was brought up. A lot of the characters that we saw as, you know, a book reader in the first book, which was really about 12 to 14 main characters. Well, like main characters and sub characters that are tied to the main characters was about like 12 to 14. But the thing is, most of those people don't show up until like book 4, book 7, book 8, 9, and then so on. So they had to take some liberties on how the story was going to go with certain characters in those moments. And this is only spoiler, but if you've read all the articles, if you've followed the directors speaking about it, they're not introducing the character Thom, who happens to be like a wandering storyteller. And and he said the reason we aren't introducing him specifically right now is because he's a very important character that disappears after the first part of the book.
Oh shit.
Like, he literally is not seen after that until like book 3 again, I believe.
Okay. So he didn't get retconned.
So he didn't get retconned. It's just they're retconning the introduction way.
Oh, okay. So they did the same thing with Invincible, because that whole the end of the first episode is like Omni-Man annihilating the Guardians or whatever whatever their faces are. That doesn't happen until at least book volume 4 or 3 in the comic. So I can see how you said that they were trying to adapt it for television, because to hold it off that one is good for comics.
I can give you my Amazon account, Ryo.
You speed through them, but for this, it's okay, we'll just set up kind of its own. It will create its own mystery within itself.
Exactly.
By doing it that way.
Exactly. And I might be setting another spoiler, but I'm not giving you much info. But technically, one of the or maybe several of the love interests of the main character are probably not going to be introduced in this first part of the series either. Because they were two very important individuals as well that, needed to be introduced. Oh, I said these two certain individuals are important when they are introduced in the beginning of the story. But they, just like Thom, it's Thom, they might have to cut back because of how vast everything is. So yeah, they're taking some liberties, but it's more or less okay, well, we have these 7 going here. This guy comes in and then disappears for 3 seasons. Why are we going to introduce him now and then bring him back then? Let's spearhead this into where he's introduced when he is needed. Is probably how they're doing it.
Okay. That's an interesting take on this.
And
so it would be interesting to see how this plays against the books.
Exactly.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, when the episodes come rolling in.
Oh, trust me, I'm gonna be there with my notebook, just looking at every episode, with a fucking keen eye, oh my god, did you do that? Hold up, wait a minute, trust me, you have no idea how badly I will be eagle-eyeing this shit.
I'm glad we're finally reaching this point of this conversation, because this is something I didn't want to bring up, because I've been not bullied, but my Discord, usually when we're discussing things, they always tell me, dude, you're always bitching about things, and I don't want to be the one bringing this up because I'm always the guy who's pretty critical on certain things. But now that we're here, do you think the hype and expectations of this series are too high to the point where it could potentially ruin the show if you don't go in with a clean slate?
Man, why are you always bitching?
I have to make sure I bring this up because we have seen in our time series that started out great and then they had a second release and there's alright, we're not necessarily needing the hype. And then the third time it's what are you doing?
And
just Kingdom Hearts, but
in retrospect, yes, maybe I don't know. I haven't joined any Facebook groups. I haven't looked any Discords. I haven't. honestly, like I told you guys when I brought this topic up, I have never found anybody that has known this series. Like, one of my coworkers who went to prison is how he found this book, and I found out about it through him at the Hard Rock.
That is very interesting. That's so cool.
Like, Munch has worked in the library system in Chicago for like 7 years, and he not once has ever seen this book series ever taken out. And that's why it's like, I don't know if there is hype for this. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But for me, I really hope they live up to it, because we found about this basically 5 years ago. 5 years ago was when Sony, or not Sony, I forget what the parent company was that had the rights, that tried to make a little quick, hour and a half, plot story that made no sense, and it was horrible. To hold the rights on it. Amazon and Sony came in and said, no, we're not going to do that. Here's your money. We're taking this. And after that, we never heard anything. We only knew that Sony and Amazon had bought the rights to this series and were on a potential production of it.
Well, Amazon's been pretty good at adapting things and producing things, with pretty crisp and clear viewpoint of the message of the source material, so they know when to take their liberties. So what have they missed so far?
Nothing.
Even with I think there was a Kamen Rider at Amazon's. I heard that got good reviews. They've just been doing good stuff lately. I don't see them anybody got his comment, shoot it out. And if Amazon has actually done not so well in this market, because as far as I can see, they pretty much know the formula. They
and like Munch said, the fandom for this, if there isn't a hype, will come once the series, is brought to the public. And it, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought because I was going to tie it into what you were just saying.
I'm sure this is going to generate hype. If there's not hype already, there's hype enough for Amazon to take notice and put forth their money towards it.
And
if there's not enough, then there will be.
And look, I'll cut through this this trailer for certain scenes, because if you look in the scenes, they're touching onto what the fan wants. All that white smoke you see, that is them weaving, the actual magic, as you want to call it. In the very beginning, where is it? Right here. This is the city. This is called Tar Valon, of where the Aes Sedai hold their power. That's how I imagine their White Tower. This big cathedral Roman looking tower looking over this city. Where is the other one? And this one, I'm not going to try and spoil it, but I have to. Where does she come out of the fucking paint? There. This moment is when a young woman individual is being tested to become an accepted. Or she's becoming an Aes Sedai, an actual true sister. The thing is, I don't know where they're going with this. But they are touching and tickling the fans' interests. In a huge way. And for another example, when we see them running out of this city right here. Oh, if I can just get the city. This is Shadar Logoth. In the actual history of this city, it was basically taken over by the darkness and corruption. The darkness itself became a physical and tangible manifestation in this city. And anybody that steps in it will be consumed by the darkness and killed. And in the story, the characters do go to here. It is important. It ties everything as the story goes on. And you see in the very background here and in the very bottom here, the darkness is coming for them. They literally made the darkness tangible for this story. Like they are touching the fans that at least have read the series and hopefully introduce more people to it.
That's some good proof that Amazon should let us have a part.
Like, I really hope so, because my nerd heart is like fucking dying over here. Because when we see this in the story, it's like, yeah, okay, shit's really hitting the fan, and we're only in chapter 5.
Only chapter 5.
Yeah. Because, mind you, you got to understand, this man writes a lot, and every word was, like, literally about this big. Like, in the book. Like, it's just, like, it's a wonderful story, but I personally feel like they're bringing the hype so that we, the actual individual that has read the story, can bring it to, you know, you guys that has never even known of this series besides just Game of Thrones.
Oh, look, I feel like I rightfully missed the boat on Game of Thrones, and I would like to get into some sort of high fantasy.
I'm not talking about shooting or going pew pew Ryle.
Starts, you know, I want to be on this time.
Well, and that's a good thing, because you have me. I have reread this entire series like 3 times. I'm going on my 4th one. And that's the 4th one is because of you guys. So props to y'all. But yeah, I've reread this throughout my entire like cooking career, and this was the only book I was reading, which is probably why I have like even put it on the kind of pedestal it is in my like life. But it just it's such a great high fantasy story, and I never would read a book like this. Like, I never saw myself diving into, like, the Dungeon and Dragon-esque of reading and of fiction, I should say. But it just...
I'm not for the series of books, mind you. Like, you said 15?
Sorry. 15 books.
See, well, look. What had happened was...
There's audiobooks.
What had happened was, Tristan, is that he wanted to only make it 12. He really did. He had everything done, everything ready, but he unfortunately passed away in 2009.
Yeah.
And he was only on book 12.
Damn, we were graduating when that happened.
Yeah. Either 2007, 2009. I always get confused, but it is literally around the time we were graduating high school or in high school. And you know, his wife his wife had this big giant like 2-stack Bible of notes. So what she did was she literally started reaching out to his biggest fans that are writers as well, and started, you know, reading and reviewing how they were writing, if they could match to his writing. And when Brandon Sanderson was chosen for that, he realized, no, this is not one book. This is like another 2-3 books possibly. So when that all happened, he, mind you, the prequel was already written by Jordan, so that was published under his name. But the last 2 final books of the series were written in part by Brandon Sanderson, because Robert Jordan was gone. The series ended, I think, in like 2012, 2013.
Sanderson, I missed that.
Yes, Brandon Sanderson was the one that was the writer that the wife picked to continue writing for Robert Jordan to finish the series off.
Okay.
Yes. But yeah, that's why we have 14 books plus the prequel. Like I mentioned, you don't need to read the prequel unless you want more info, but it's not really necessary.
feel like the prequel will just be there for like once you're done with the 15 books, you just want to be
No,
like,
it's 14.
I want a little more. You kind of want to have that little extra piece.
It's 14, and that one makes it 15.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't have any more questions. I'm just ready to see this.
We got.
What about you, Jacob? Any questions? Anything else that has sparked your interest? Anything you want to know more about the magic and all that, or if there's tools and whatnot?
Honestly, if we go more in depth, I think we start reaching spoiler territory. So I feel like I'm kind of good in the sense of where this series is kind of projecting itself to be.
Okay.
I really can't wait to see what comes up. Really.
I honestly can't either. Like I'm excited. Like I've mentioned before, my nerd inside is like ready to bust the fuck out for this fucking show.
And we wanted the same. So what's the date? What's that date?
Well, the date is November 19th.
On your calendars.
It is, yes. Write it on your calendars. Here's a picture of it as well, or the video clip of it. It is November 19th, but like I said, they will be releasing another trailer in the next coming weeks. I don't know when exactly, but they did mention that there is one more trailer coming out.
Oh damn! Okay.
So when
be on that too.
trust me, we will be. We will do another podcast, a live podcast for sure, including many more coming up, hopefully. But yeah, I think this will be concluding our Wheel of Time discussion for now. What do you guys think?
Oh no, dude, for sure. For the time being, I feel like until they can release more information that they want us to review.
Because trust me, I got a notebook ready
for the wheel to roll. You know what I mean?
The wheel to roll. If I could smack you through the mic, I would right now, Jacob. This guy, I swear.
So, thank you for showing up to Bounty Bros Gaming.
Yep, thank you for showing up for our first live stream. Hopefully we can do more of this. Yep. We're getting there. Like I promised everybody, I will be streaming more. Just somebody decided to take my time with their wedding back last month. But yes, thank you for joining. Let's talk about you. It's a wedding, bro.
That was kind of like a wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tristan just recently got married. But yes, thank you so much for joining us on our live stream. This has been the Bounty Bros Gaming signing out of our first live podcast. Thanks for joining.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.